Kevin Carter and I will see you at halftime. We will keep you posted on everything going on around the country, including Texas A&M. But let's send you to Nashville. Dave Neal and Andre Ware.
Thank you, Dari. James Franklin leading the troops here at Vanderbilt Stadium as the Commodores, looking for their third win of the season, host the Auburn Tigers. First time these clubs have met since 2008. Auburn in desperate need of a victory, 0-4 in SEC play. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Dave Neal alongside my College Football Hall of Famer, Andre Ware. Glad you could join us. And certainly James Franklin has done what he can over the last 18 months to get this community rallied behind Vanderbilt. Second consecutive sellout coming up for this Commodore football team. They're trying to translate that into some wins. He's gotten some SEC caliber playmakers on offense. It's going to be tough for Auburn today to slow down this group.
Yeah, he's got some playmakers on the offensive side of the football, but the glue that holds it together, Jordan Rogers, their quarterback, has been inconsistent throughout most of this season and has gotten better the last couple of weeks, Dave, because they opened up the quarterback competition in practice. That really woke him up. He's been taking care of the football better since then. But Zach Stacy is a big physical runner that can run between the tackles as well. He has speed to get to the outside edges to make plays out there. And then Jordan Matthews, big-time playmaker, big receiver that can make plays down the field. He's about as good as it gets at his position in the SEC.
Vanderbilt's problem offensively has been putting the ball in the end zone when they're in the red zone. We'll see how that translates today. Meanwhile, speaking of offense, Auburn has had their woes offensively. They are 115th in the country, averaging 16 points a game. Once again, Clint Mosley gets to start today at quarterback, but we're going to see a youngster also get the football today, Jonathan Wallace. But this is all based on Trey Mason and how he runs the football.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who plays quarterback for Auburn, but Trey Mason, it does matter. He's the guy, the big physical running back that they wanted coming into this season. They want to get him the football more. 20-plus carries in today's ball game. Dave, he can handle that type of workload, maybe even more.
All right, well, the third member of our team is down on the sidelines. Her name is Kara Capuano. She joins us now. Kara.
Guys, since James Franklin's arrival here in Nashville, he has been on a mission to change the product on the field and, in turn, change the perception of the Vanderbilt program. He told us yesterday he knows that SEC opponents no longer circle Vanderbilt as an easy win on the schedule. That's a reputation the team can reinforce with a win today against Auburn. The Tigers have been turnover prone, committing 19 on the season. Franklin's unique message to the team this week: this is your home, your turf, your football. If Auburn gets the football, go get it back. Dave?
Yeah, Kara, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's like front yard football. It's my football. I want it. Go get it.
Yeah, I mean, Auburn will put it on the ground. They've turned the football over. In terms of turnover margin, minus 13, which will lose you a lot of football games when you look at just turnover margin.
Yeah, they are 120th. That is dead last in the FBS in turnover margin. It's pretty simple. You hold on to the football, your success rate really increases. Gene Chizik knows it. He knows it's been a tough week. His guys have to filter out what they hear. They played well for 3 quarters at Ole Miss. I mean, they went toe-to-toe with the Rebels, but just dismantled in the 4th quarter, and that has been a theme. They have to play 60 minutes of football. Their lone win came against Louisiana Monroe back in Auburn when they won in overtime after blocking a Louisiana Monroe field goal attempt.
And that was a tough football game for Auburn. I mean, Monroe had plenty of opportunities late to actually win the football game after the week before knocking off Arkansas.
Well, Vandy wins the toss. They accept. So Vandy will take the football first. Cody Parkey will kick things off for the Tigers. Andre Howe back to return. He stands about 2 feet deep in the end zone. This kick will sail deep into the Commodore end zone, and Howe will take a knee, and to the 25 it goes. And Andre, let's take a look at those Vandy impact players today.
Yeah, you look at Vandy, Zach Stacy, we just talked about him, big physical runner inside. Jordan Matthews, their playmaker on the outside, the best in the SEC in my opinion at his position. Chris Boyd is a good complement to Jordan Matthews, led the team in touchdown receptions a year ago. And then Kenny Ladler, their safety, leading the team in tackles this year.
Boy, Matthews and Boyd, the top receiving duo in the Southeastern Conference. Auburn will open up In a nickel package, 5 defensive backs on first down. Here's the handoff to Stacy. He is met by a young man making his first career start. Casanova McKenzie, a true freshman out of Birmingham, Alabama. Coaches rave about him. Gene Chizik said it's time to put the young man on the field, and number 30 sticks his nose in there right away.
Yeah, he's got great size for a middle linebacker. As a true freshman, 6'3", 243. And talking to Brian Van Gorder weeks ago, he was raving about Casanova McKenzie. We've got to find a way to get him on the field. Enough knowledge now, Dave, where they can turn him loose.
Wildcat formation, and a flag comes down in that Vandy backfield. Referee today, Matt Moore.
False start. Offense. Number 81. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And these are the things that'll drive James Franklin crazy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But going back to McKenzie for a second, the only thing that was really holding him off the field or keeping him from playing was the knowing the calls defensively. And once they figured out that he was comfortable enough to handle those things, talent wasn't a question. They had to go ahead and get him on the field.
4-man look from the Tigers. Empty set. Rodgers over the middle. Pass is caught by Chris Boyd. Uses that big frame to shield Joshua Holsey off. Boyd 6'4", 205. Pickup of 10.
Yeah, the brother of Green Bay Packers starting quarterback Aaron Rodgers. And I watched him on Sunday night take apart the Houston Texans, and he's been more consistent after they opened up the competition between he and Austin Carmen Samuels. And now they're going to go some quick Wildcat stuff here.
Zach Stacy working left side. On third down and a couple, he will pick up the first down over the 35. He'll make it by a football or two, and that'll keep the drive alive. Casanova McKenzie led the way again for Auburn.
Yeah, with Rodgers, he was their first junior college player signed by Vandy in over a decade. He's really been consistent the last couple of games once they opened that competition up. Taking care of the football. Last week he was 55% and just, a touchdown, but no interceptions.
Quick toss. Zach Stacy. Gain of 3 on the play. Demetrius McNeil brings him down.
Boy, big Wesley Johnson, the left tackle, pulling around. He's the team's best offensive lineman.
Boy, hurry up offense from the Commodores. They'll swing it out there, need a block. Got it. Here's Matthews. Bounces off one man inside the 40 down to the 39. Jermaine Whitehead runs him out of bounds. 23 yards on that pickup.
Boy, nice block on the outside by his counterpart, number 80, Chris Boyd. You see the block there. Nice kick out block. And then the rest of it is all Jordan Matthews. He went down last week, Dave, against Florida with an ankle injury. But you have plays like that. That ankle, all of a sudden the adrenaline gets flowing through there. You don't feel any pain.
Avoided the high ankle sprain, which can put you out for quite a few weeks. First down and 10. Rodgers behind his receiver Krause.
And they're waiting on Krause to step up. He was a 20-plus reception guy last year. He made 5 starts as well, and had his best game last year against South Carolina, 9 receptions. He's got great speed as well, 10.9 in the 100 meters, 22 flat in the 200 coming out of high school. But they really, really need him to step up as that third guy to Matthews and Boyd.
On second and 10. Zach Stacy bounces off one man, can't get through the second tackler. Kenneth Carter comes in to make the play, gain of only 2.
And Whitehead was there as well, who had flashes last week at Ole Miss. Jermaine Whitehead, the strong safety. A guy that is not afraid to hit you.
So now another third down coming up for Vanderbilt on the year. The Commodores 28% on third down conversions. These two clubs are 12th and 13th in that department in the SEC.
Boy, man-to-man across the board. You see the two safeties, 2 deep with Man underneath, going to force Rodgers to make a quick decision here.
Pass caught at the 30-yard line, just inside the 30-yard line by Krause. That's a gain of 7. He's going to be about a yard shy. And it looks like the offense is going to stay on the field on a 4th down.
You see here, nice quick decision by Krause, showing the numbers to the quarterback, and that's a nice throw by Jordan Rodgers as well, reading things out and then getting the football out in a hurry. And James Franklin going to roll the dice early. You got Zach Stacy. That's the thing to do.
Out of the Wildcat formation, Stacy off the right side has the first down to the 25-yard line. A gain of 4. Demetrius McNeil with a tackle.
There's some pretty good blocks up front. They get nice push. Andrew Bridges, Josh Jaleski on that right side. Nice drive here by James Franklin. Nice job of mixing the run with the pass.
10th play of the drive coming up that started back at the 25. Stacy stays in and will run the Wildcat one more time. This time falls forward to the 23-yard line, a gain of a couple on the play.
Well, you're wondering why. Why would you do that with a running back? Well, it allows him to kind of see things and pick his way. The offensive line firing out, and basically all you're looking for is just a soft spot in the offensive line to get something positive on 1st down.
Rodgers under center. 2nd down and 8. Stacy again. Cuts it back. Next Stacy to the 17. McNeil, the safety, in on another tackle, a gain of 6.
Boy, excellent job in terms of patience by Zach Stacy. They run the counter, pull the tight end around, and he's just waiting on the blocks to kind of set themselves up. That's why, Dave, he only needed 132 yards coming into today's game to become Vanderbilt's all-time leading rusher. We had a chance to sit down with him last year. Just a good kid, just a good student of the game and enjoys playing.
Wesley Tate gets his crack at running that Wildcat. He'll pick up a yard. McNeil and Casanova McKenzie have made most of the tackles on this drive. Combined, those guys have 6 stops already.
And Tate's been a surprise this year. He moved back to running back after spending last year as a slot receiver. But his problem has been he's a good speed guy with 4.3 speed. But he's been running more physical this year.
Well, Andre, they're doing it again. Another 4th down attempt. They're inside the 20.
3rd one on this drive.
It's Tate. He needed to get inside the 15. This is going to be close. The 1st down line is right on the 15.
Yeah, I think he got it. They're going to spot the football right on the 15, which is enough for the 1st down, and Vanderbilt taking care of things, using all 4 downs in this drive. But Tate right there, being physical, not stuttering and trying to get outside or bounce runs like he has in the past. It's been between the tackles. We need 2 of 2 now on 4th downs.
1st and 10 in the red zone. Vandy has scored a touchdown just 34% of the time. That's 13th in the conference. Tight end Chris Quintera with the reception. There's a gain of 7. Take a look at how the Commodores are doing in that red zone. Brought to you by Verizon Wireless. They've scored almost 70% of the time. Not a great number overall, but it's the touchdowns that James Franklin talks about.
Yeah, been in there 23 times, 8 touchdowns, 8 field goals. And they are putting points on the board when they get in the red zone.
Rodgers will keep it. Stopped at the 7. Only a yard. Whitehead with the tackle.
Well, I thought Jordan Rodgers really missed an opportunity to step inside. Watch the play fake to Matthews, and then right there, freeze it. Right there is the running lane. Cut it back inside, and it is there. He bounces outside, and then there's 3 Auburn Tigers waiting on him.
How do you not see that?
I mean, he can basically walk in the end zone if he makes that cut.
Wesley Tate lines up in the Wildcat. He'll fake it, keep it, touchdown Commodores. 7 yards out, Wesley Tate.
Oh, what a clinic. What a clinic put on in this first drive by Vanderbilt. Watch the fake here. Freeze it. Now he's going to read it. It tells him to break it back this way. Watch the run right here. Break it back. There's a soft spot, and then it's just north and south to get into the end zone.
Third rushing touchdown for Wesley Tate. Rodgers will hold. The kick by Spear is good. And Andre, listen to the numbers on this drive. 16 plays, 75 yards, 8:25 off the clock. They converted 2 4th downs, and they lead 7-0. Andre James Franklin has to be quite pleased with the way his offense came out in the opening drive this morning.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The way his team, his offense went right down the field converting on those 2 4th downs. But we got a chance to visit with James Franklin yesterday, and I think I get more impressed with him each and every time we sit down with him. We're talking about a high energy guy that is the right man for the job here at Vanderbilt. Never stops working. Never.
See the Vanderbilt symbol that he has put some emphasis on in this community. It's hard to walk around campus and not see that hand signal.
Yeah, he said he's convinced his wife this isn't a job. It's it's a lifestyle change. So she's kind of bought into that and has allowed him to work the hours that he works. But he's put a buzz in this Vanderbilt community.
Spear will kick it off, a short kick that will drop down at the 12 to Ontario McCaleb. Good coverage kick, as it wasn't very deep. Gain of only 14 for a very dangerous return man. Let's take a look at our USAA keys to the game.
Yeah, for Auburn, who now has the football, they want to keep the game close and win the football game in the 4th quarter. Defensively, they've got to stop 2 and 87. Zach Stacy and Jordan Matthews, who were big on the first drive for Vanderbilt, control the football and the clock. They were able to do that in their first drive and then force turnovers. Auburn will give it away. Minus 13 in turnover margin this year.
So Auburn, we'll start with Clint Mosley under center, the junior. 6'4", 230. Offset eye. Trey Mason off the right side has a big hole. Out over the 40 to the 43. Good open field tackle by Kenny Ladler. 17 yards on play number 1.
Boy, that zone blocking scheme. They get nice push up front. Patrick Miller, Chad Shade, and then it's just one cut and straight up the field for Trey Mason. He had a nice ball game last week against Ole Miss, kind of picking up, Dave, where he left off.
Boy, John L. Thomas is back at the 27-yard line. Looks like he is banged up after just one play, and John L. is a tremendous story. The 6', 250-pound end out of Orlando, Florida. Young man, just a brutal experience growing up. Fought his way through some tumultuous times. Is an unbelievable student. Found his way here to Vanderbilt and is the guy that makes James Franklin smile.
Yep, he's just an excellent student, excellent kid. We voted him co-captain, and he's really, really respected and admired by his teammates because of his hard work and able to persevere through some tough times. And he's just as you mentioned, a good story.
Let's hope he's all right. Looks like he should be okay, and Vanderbilt certainly needs his play at that defensive end position. It's a 1st down and 10 for Auburn, and they sit at the 43-yard line. Clint Mosley on the year, 24 out of 39. That's 61%. 275, a touchdown, but 3 interceptions. Started the first half last week against Ole Miss, 8 out of 8. Boy, it looks like a little misread between Mosley and Mason. Walker May will pick up the tackle for loss.
Just look like, you know, in this zone scheme that they run up front, you see everybody pulling, and it's just kind of who's in your zone when you're blocking. Miscommunication or there by Mosley and Mason. And Walker May, the best defensive player for Vanderbilt's able to make the play.
It didn't take long for us to get a look at Jonathan Wallace, the true freshman. He'll line up at quarterback. He wears number 12.
I see him a lot today.
6'2", 195-pound true freshman out of Phoenix City, Alabama. Bobbles the snap. Another pickup in the backfield for the Tigers. That's a loss of another yard.
Yeah, Reese Dismukes is the center. He is back. And that one looked like it hit Wallace right where it should. He just kind of bobbles it. It throws the timing of the play off to Mason, and that allowed Vanderbilt penetration, and now where Auburn doesn't want to be. 3rd down and long against a hungry defense.
See that right arm has a brace on it for the center, Dismukes, who didn't play last week. He is fighting through some pain. Some pressure comes. Mosley passes caught at the 47, but well shy of the first down. Trevon Reed grabs the football, picks up 6, but that'll leave them about 6 yards shy.
Well, Westerman in on the tackle. They go zone blitz, and the defensive end of that side drops into the curl area. Auburn picks it up, but well short of the first down.
Stephen Clark to punt it away. Only 2 of his 35 punts have been returned. You can make it 2 out of 36. Auburn can't keep it alive. So Vanderbilt will bring it out to the 20-yard line. And when we come back, big number 2 back on the field. Zach Stacy chasing the school's all-time rushing record. Vanderbilt leads Auburn 7-0, 3:49 to go in the first quarter. Outstanding opening drive by the Commodores.
Yeah, a couple of 4th down conversions here. Zach Stacy out of the Wildcat, able to get north and south and pick up one. Wesley Tate on the second. He picks up the first down. And then a nice block by Stephen Shoy, the tight end, to open it up for Wesley Tate to get in the end zone. Vanderbilt, excellent first drive to start this game.
Zach Stacy, 7 carries, 22 yards. He is now 110 yards away from Vanderbilt's all-time leading rusher numbers. Boyd on the outside makes the catch out to the 27-yard line.
Well, you know, you look at Jordan Rogers and his body language. Sometimes you can just look at a quarterback early and tell he's going to have a good game. Good week of practice for Jordan Rogers, and you can see it carrying over into Saturday, into game day. He's back. He's making fast, quick decisions, and he's accurate.
Loss of a yard. Zach Stacy brought down by Nosa Igwe.
First drive, Rogers 4-5, 48 yards. Just providing a nice spark in the passing game, and he's been on the money.
Zach Stacy in at quarterback, fakes the handoff, dancing around, has some running room, first down and more. Joshua Holsey finally drags him down inside the 45, 27 yards for Zach.
Well, a missed tackle by Demetrius McNeil, and that allowed Stacy to get the first down and keep himself going. Right there is where he gives it, takes it away, and makes him miss. And he's just asking Jordan Matthews, pick up somebody, I'm all right. Well, that's a nice job. Short yardage situations, they've been doing a nice job on 1st and 2nd down to get the 3rd and short, and they've capitalized.
Rogers dumps it over here to Stacy, incomplete pass. Threw it a little bit low, and Zach's slow to get up.
Yeah, some pretty good coverage on the back end. And Jonathan Mincy, a heads-up play, and a swing route to Zach Stacy.
Brian Kimbrough, a true freshman out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, they beat Tennessee out on for Kimbrough's services.
He's in the backfield along with Wesley Tate. He wears number 25. And a timeout taken by Auburn, and Brian Van Gore, the defensive coordinator.
Timeout, Auburn.
For the Tigers. Not too pleased with what he has seen here in the opening quarter. 2:05 to go. Vanderbilt on the move again. They lead by a touchdown. Well, make sure you join us at halftime as we announce this week's winner of the Honda Generators Tailgate Giveaway. Each week we'll be awarding a brand new Honda EU 2000i generator to the fan with the best tailgate. Simply send us video or pictures showing how you tailgate for your chance to win. Log on to ESPNplus.com for more details on how to enter. Gorgeous day here in Nashville, Tennessee. Music City, USA. Got to taste a little Music City flavor last night. Tried to get Andre to run down to Bridgestone Arena, catch Rascal Flats, Little Big Town, but he wouldn't go with me. I tried.
You enjoyed that, didn't you?
I did. It was a good time.
Good concert, huh?
House. Right now, Vanderbilt's concert's pretty impressive. Their second drive on the move on 2nd down and 10. Wesley Tate high steps one defender and gets it down to the 41-yard line. That will be 6 yards shy of the first down.
What been impressed with Wesley Tate as well as Zach Stacy. The pile always seems to go forward with these Vanderbilt backs.
To the wide side. This play worked earlier, and it works again. Jordan Matthews falls forward for the first down.
Boyd out there and just gets enough to allow Matthews to get up the field. That big body, once he falls forward, it's going to be for about 2 or more yards at 6'3", 205. And I'm telling you, he is playing at an extremely high level.
Today's First and 10 line brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Boy, Matthews already a few catches today. Came in with 43 grabs on the year for 617 yards. Loose football. It's on the turf. They say it's a fumble and will belong to the Auburn Tigers.
Not one. The line judge is coming in saying that Tate was down, and I actually thought he was down as well.
The beanbag came in from our referee, Matt Moore, to spot the fumble. Angelo Blackson causes the fumble.
Keep an eye here. You want to look at the knee. Elbows down. He's down. Then the ball comes out.
Right. Close call. They're going to take one more look at this. A little closer look up on the replay booth.
The ruling on the field was the runner was down. The previous play is under further review.
I think it's going to remain Vanderbilt's football. But we talked about Matthews earlier. He came in leading the SEC in receptions per game, and he was second in yards, averaging over 100 yards a game this year. Just having a spectacular year. I think he's realized, Dave, Wesley Tate play, the elbows down and then the ball comes out, so remain Vanderbilt's football. Right here, this is the best look. You see that it's squared up right there to the ground. He's still got possession, and then the ball's going to pop out. And boy, if that doesn't yell 2 hands on the football in a crowded area, I don't know what would.
Boy, Auburn has just had a nightmare season in the turnover department. You've highlighted it a couple of times. They've gained 5 fumbles. They only have 1 interception. Auburn their only interception is
by a linebacker, Darren Bates.
That's 116th in the country in that department. Only South Florida. Only school in the country without an interception to this point of the season.
Last in turnover margin in the entire country. -13.
Boy, this would be a huge spark for the Auburn club. Ryan Van Gorder in the middle of that unit. The defensive coordinator came over from the Atlanta Falcons. And talking to him, it was interesting early in the year. He says, I had to get back to defending the spread. It's not something we saw.
I think he's having a tough time adjusting to defending the spread. And then Vanderbilt comes out and gets Jordan Rogers out, and Zach Stacy's back there as a Wildcat quarterback. Ryan Van Gorder's having a tough time adjusting.
Well, you got to have some active, fluid linebackers. You hear it all the time. Linebackers that can run to space. And I don't know if Auburn has enough of those.
That he talked about as well, wanting to get bigger. And with that, you better get bigger and faster if you're going to face teams that like to do that. And Texas A&M looms later in the year on that Auburn schedule. Well, you're frustrated now?
Yeah.
Let's get a little taste of Johnny football.
Last check, A&M was up 9-0 on LSU. Matt Moore and our guys really taking the time, making sure they get this one right. John Bible, our replay official today. Something tells me that because they're spending so much time with this, Andre, that they may be reversing this call and trying to find the right spot to mark the football.
There's a bad smell in the air if you're a Vanderbilt fan right now, because it is taking a long time.
And usually when it takes this long, there are a lot of decisions to be made.
We'll wait no longer.
For further review, the ruling is that the ball was fumbled and recovered by Auburn. First down at the 33-yard line.
I don't know if I agree with that. Elbows down.
I mean, the only thing I can say, Andre, is that he was losing control before he hit the turf. I mean, that's the only thing you could really say there.
I don't know about that one. I definitely don't agree with that call.
Well, that's a huge, huge opportunity for this Auburn team to slow down Vandy, which had been running up and down the field on their first two possessions. Now Clint Mosley and company will have it first down and 10 from the 33. Out of the eye. Mason, maybe a yard.
Walker May in there again. He's their best pass rusher off the edge, and he always seems to be around the football. Vince Taylor as well making the stop, but Walker May is just a heck of a football player. 6'5", about 250, and he just knows how to play the edge.
Well, Auburn will let the clock run out in a quarter that was completely dominated by the Vanderbilt Commodores. Their opening drive went 16 plays, 75 yards in 8.5 minutes. And after 15 minutes, James Franklin's Commodores lead Auburn 7-0. Boy, look at the first quarter numbers. Vanderbilt completely owned the football. A lot of it had to do with that opening drive, but nonetheless, only 5 plays run by Auburn. They do have the football, though. It'll be second down, and let's call it 9.
What's amazing, it would be even more lopsided had it not been for the fumble. They'd still have the football.
Here comes McCaleb into the backfield. Stands to the right of Clint Mosley. They will swing it to McCaleb. Boy, an electrifying runner in the open field, but he trips up on the turf trying to cut it back to the inside. Carl Butler will get credit for the stop.
Let's take a look at the Auburn's impact players. We had Ontario McCaleb, capable of hitting the home run at any time. Trey Mason, a good physical runner inside the tackles. Emory Blake, he's their playmaker out on the outside. And then Darren Bates is their do-it-all linebacker. Had a nice game last week against Ole Miss, leading the team in tackles.
Auburn missed on their first third down opportunity. 29% on the year on third down conversions. Here comes some heat from the Commodores. Mosley flushed out of the pocket. And he is dropped back at the 34-yard line. Chase Garnham, the middle linebacker, chases him down, a junior out of Fairhope, Alabama.
Yeah, and he replaced a pretty good one in Chris Marv, who was a 4-year starter in the middle. They didn't have to worry about who was going to be the middle linebacker. They moved Chase Garnham from outside to now inside. He's got pretty good size in there as well, 6'3", about 235. Can move sideline to sideline. Going to be a good player in there.
Stephen Clark will punt it again. Jonathan Krause back to return. Fair catch called for, and it hits off McCaleb's helmet.
Really didn't give him room to make the fair catch. So they're going to get some freebies here. Vanderbilt.
It was a 38-yard punt, but the net on this will be substantially less.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
You just got to know where you are on the field at all times. And McCaleb has been on that kick team for 4 years, and a veteran guy just should not make that mistake.
Yeah, when you're nose to nose with the return man, probably a good idea to maybe take a step back.
No doubt about it.
And a flag down on the far side.
False start. Number 81, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Even Shoy will back up Vanderbilt 5 yards. Well, Commodore fans, don't miss one of the premier preseason basketball tournaments featuring your Vanderbilt Commodores. Come see the 7th annual Old Spice Classic featuring Vandy, West Virginia, Gonzaga, Clemson, and more at the Wide World of Sports Complex in Orlando, Florida. For more info, visit oldspiceclassic.com. Cut back by Kimbrough. Will pick up a couple. Casanova, McKenzie. Andre, how about the numbers here on McKenzie? The true freshman, his first start, 6 tackles already today.
Well, we knew he was a talented football player, but you know, he's got great size, good movement, and the coaches just love it. And had to get him on the field as soon as he learned and got comfortable with the system. They rolled him out there, and today was the day.
Of the eye. Rogers to throw. Going up top. Asking Matthews to make a play. And almost did. Jonathan Mincy at the last minute able to get a hand in there and rip it out of the hands of Jordan Matthews.
Yeah, that's an excellent play by Mincy because Matthews had his hands on the football. Big guy. Sometimes you can just throw it up and let him make a play. But Mincy able to get tall as well and just fight. Just got to fight those big guys when you get in there. Just 5'10". When you're matched against 6'3", you just got to fight till the whistle.
3rd down and 13.
Oh, this is the first long yardage 3rd down that Vanderbilt's been in this today.
Out of the shotgun, 4-man rush, dumped it over the middle. A little bit of running room and a nice open field tackle by Mincy, who brings down Chris Boyd. Only a 5-yard gain.
Unless you see a couple of blockers out in front of you, you might want to take this one north and south if you're Boyd. Right here, a nice shallow cross. Freeze it. Right there is where you want to go. You keep going this way, you allow the defense to rally up and make a nice play. That's another play by Mincy.
Mincy with 4 tackles. Demetrius McNeil with 6. Casanova McKenzie with 6. 4th down and 9. And a weird formation. Zach Stacy is in the backfield, but they'll run a little option play with Tate, and they lost the football. Boy, did that backfire.
It got too cute.
Ashton Richardson comes up with the football, but that didn't look good from the snap.
I'm surprised that James Franklin made that call. This got too cute, and now you turn the football over, and Auburn's going to have excellent field position. Talking to the Vandy coaches, they felt like yesterday whoever won the turnover battle in this football game was going to win the game ultimately. And score it right now, Auburn 2, Vanderbilt nothing. But that's not what the scoreboard's saying. You can't keep turning the football over, Dave, if you're Vanderbilt.
And now you give Auburn excellent field position at the 37-yard line. Here's Mason. Still on his feet. That would have been for a loss of 2. Instead, Mason picks up 6. Kenny Ladler, the safety, comes down to make the tackle. But Darian Herring, a true freshman outside backer out of Stone Mountain, laid the lick on him initially.
Yeah, he shot through there and made a nice play. You just got to wrap up when you get there. Ladler, who leads the team in tackles, able to finally wrestle down Trey Mason.
2nd down and 4. Jonathan Wallace in at quarterback. They'll hand it off to McCaleb, the speedster, off the right side, inside the 25. First down, Auburn. Pickup of 9.
Well, you see what momentum does? All of a sudden, it lights a fire under everybody on the other sideline when you continue to turn the football over and you give Auburn excellent field position. They've got playmakers. Mason on the first down play, and then McCaleb there. Certainly capable of hitting the home run for you at any time in the football game.
McCaleb not much of a factor last week at Auburn, as the Tigers spent most of their time handing the ball off to Mason, who had 18 carries, a little over 80 yards. Wallace stays in at quarterback. Changes the play.
We'll finally get to throw a pass here.
Hasn't thrown one all year. Instead, we'll hand it to McCaleb, and he will be stopped shy of the 20, gain of a yard. Chase Garnham.
Well, this is the time to do it. If your offensive coordinator, Scott Loeffler, you scout Auburn, and every time Wallace has come in the football game, he doesn't throw the football, they're running. So what you do is you crowd the line of scrimmage and play man-to-man on the outside. The warming up, I was more impressed with Jonathan Wallace, watching him the last 2 weeks, than both Mosley and Frazier. So he is more than capable of hurting you with his arm.
Empty set. Wallace stays in. His first pass of the year is caught. Ricardo Lewis inside the 10, down to the 9. Kenny Ladler with the tackle, but that'll be an Auburn Tiger first down.
Nice little flip pass. And you see out front C.J. Uzuma making a nice block on the outside to allow Ricardo Lewis to get up the field, pick up the first down, and set up Auburn in a goal-to-goal situation.
Well, if you're Tigers, you got to like that. That was true freshman to true freshman.
I think he's the future. I really do, and we can get into that here in a minute.
Here's Mosley under center, out of the eye. Across the fullback. They will hand it to Mason. Gets a couple down to the 7-yard line.
You know, there becomes a point in the season for Auburn, who's 1-5, and you know, when the next loss, but you're out of a bowl run, you got to turn it over to Wallace. You know what you have in Mosley. You know what you have in Frazier. You have yet to see what you have in Wallace. And I think he's the guy going forward. There's going to be tremendous competition this spring, but Wallace going to get extra consideration.
Mosley's in right now on a 2nd and goal. Mason lost a yard, maybe a 2 when it's all said and done.
Andre Howell, the corner, closing from outside in, able to close that thing down in a hurry and find his way to Trey Mason. That's just an excellent play on the outside.
Howell and Jared Morse break down Mason, and now you're looking at 3rd and goal from the 10.
Yeah, big down here for Auburn. You don't want to settle for field goals. You see here 4 touchdowns in just 14 possessions.
And Auburn wants a timeout, I believe.
Yeah, take the timeout and get a nice play call here and not feel rushed.
Timeout, Auburn. That is your second time.
Auburn's knocking on the door. They have struggled in the red zone. 4 TDs and 14 opportunities. Can they improve on that? But Auburn in the red zone looking at 3rd and goal from the 10. If you're Gene Chizik, if you're Scott Leffler, the offensive coordinator, what direction do you go here?
Well, the way the game's going, you have to take advantage of the turnovers early. You got to throw the football here if you're Auburn. Go to the end zone if you're Clint Mosley. It's either your guy or it goes out of the back of the end zone, but you have to give your receivers a chance to make a play in the end zone.
Only 4 touchdowns in the red zone all year for Auburn. All 4 of those by way of the run. Here we go, 3rd and goal from the 10.
Oh, you got an uncovered receiver down here at the bottom.
Mason comes back into the backfield as Mosley looks to the end zone. Behind his receiver, he was looking for Emory Blake. A good throw, and you got 6.
Well, they motioned Trey Mason inside, which covered up the receiver to the outside. And an uncovered guy, you might want to just snap the football and give it to him right here. The motion actually brings the corner inside, but there's nobody over Sammy Coates. Now you see Vanderbilt motion inside. Hal comes down to cover up the receiver on the outside, Coates.
27-yard field goal from Cody Parkey, who's 9 out of 10 this year. 78% in his career from the near hash. Kick is on the way, and it splits the upright. So Auburn's on the board. They'll take the 3, but they're looking for touchdowns inside the red zone. And they cut that Vanderbilt lead to 4 with 8:10 to play before halftime. Back to Nashville in a moment. Today's SEC Network game is brought to you by Nissan. Hurry in for big savings on the all-new fuel-efficient 2013 Nissan Altima. AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports. And by Regions Bank, proud sponsor of the SEC. Boy, look at some of the pictures from the Rodgers family. Of course, Jordan Rodgers, it's well documented, the younger brother of Aaron, who James Franklin was telling us yesterday how, one of the things that people don't put much appreciation on is the fact that what he has to deal with being Aaron's little brother, the expectations.
Well, I tell you what, I swore on Sunday night Aaron Rodgers was on the field with a scalpel because he was surgically just doing his thing against the number 3 ranked defense in the NFL at that point in the Texans.
Kimbrough will take a knee in the end zone and bring it out to the 25. So Jordan Rodgers and company will have the football. And, as Jordan said, I'm not the same kind of quarterback as Aaron. I like to use my feet a little bit more than he does. We're different quarterbacks, but people see the name Rodgers on the back, though. They expect you to slice and dice people up.
Well, he's got nice arm strength. I mean, he can get the ball around. He suffered a shoulder injury a couple of years ago that, took some time to heal and finally got his zip back in the football. And if you're judging from today, early in this game, he spread the ball out well and he's on some nice passes. Looks sharp.
Stacy off the left side. They had Andrew Bridges, a tackle by trade, lined up in the backfield, and an offset in a fullback role, and that offset eye, as you look at the Vanderbilt Commodores drive chart, and the last 2 have ended in a fumble, although that last one was on a fake punt attempt.
Yeah, and you look at Vanderbilt, and you just can't turn the football over and give Auburn, or continue to give Auburn, excellent field position. At some point, it's going to come back to bite you.
Gets past McKenzie on the run, throws, and will throw it away. So he goes flying out of bounds. No flag on the far side.
Yeah, he was escorted out by Darren Bates, and maybe Matt Moore might throw a flag, roughing the passer because he was clearly going out of bounds and trying to get rid of the football, but they didn't throw it. Excellent coverage on the back end by Auburn, and now the second, 3rd and long of this football game for Vanderbilt.
4 out of 7 on 3rd downs are the Commodores today in a dime package 6 defensive backs in the game for Auburn. Three-man rush. That pass had no chance of picking up the first down. Jonathan Krause couldn't hang on to it. Joshua Holsley, another true freshman. He's out of Fairburn, Georgia, in on the coverage. And the Tiger faithful that are here, and there's quite a few in orange and blue, stand.
Yeah, Dave, you can tell a lot from pre-snap reads when you have Matthews in the slot. And watch here, he's up top. You got a safety over the top of him. You just got to be a little more patient right there in the window, the first window, but it's got to be a quick pass. Just kind of get a feel for what the defense is giving you in the pre-snap read.
Boy, what a booming hit from Richard Kent. Quan Bray dancing around, and he is dropped. 52-yard punt. Nothing on the return. Eddie Foster with the special teams tackle. 7:04 to play before halftime, and the Commodores lead by 4, but the Tigers do have the football. Let's take a look. It's brought to you by Hyundai. Be sure to go online and show your loyalty to your school at HyundaiShowYourLoyalty.com.
Second consecutive sellout, Dave, by these Vandy fans starting to rally around this program.
Tell you what, I'm a little disappointed in the student section, though, Andre. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, you mentioned.
I'm a little disappointed.
It's the closest walk.
It's like 200 yards to get here from your dorm.
To get here. Come on, students, what are you doing?
It's your team. These are your schoolmates. Let's go. First down and 10. Auburn trying to put together a lengthy drive. Mosley throws, and pass is caught by the fullback, Jay Prosh, his second catch of the season. But last week against Florida, Commodores put up a good fight, but they just had a hard time containing the Gator run game. And today they sell it out again, and you see the number down there. First time since 1996 they've had back-to-back sellouts. Attribute a lot of that to James Franklin getting out, doing the hard work.
Tireless worker. He will sell this program to whoever will listen.
Mason hit at the 25, gain of 5. John L. Thomas, who left earlier with an injury, back to make the play for the Commodores.
He's not a big player, but he plays with fantastic leverage. He can get under your pads, and just 6'2", 250, kind of a compact defensive end, but it is hard to move John L. Thomas.
Jonathan Wallace checks into quarterback. McCaleb in the game as well. This is a third down and a couple. Auburn 0 for 3 on third downs this afternoon. McCaleb, little counter play.
He'll be short of the first down.
Walker May steps up to make the play for the Commodores.
Here comes a late flag by the field judge from the back end. Not quite sure what that's all about. Looks like it's going to be against Auburn.
So a block below the waist against Auburn.
Maybe a chop block where a lineman is engaged and then somebody else comes low on a defender.
It would be 4th down and a couple here. 4th and 2.
Illegal block. Number 89 in the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Jalen Denson, the wide receiver.
Yeah, right here, going low on Kenny Ladler.
Penalty is declined, so Auburn lines up in punt formation. Stephen Clark with a big leg. Shanks this one a little bit, and it's a line drive that's Fielded by Kraus, and he'll get it out to the 43-yard line. A 34-yard punt, and now Vanderbilt has decent field position. Time now to take a look at our Denny's value players of the day. And how about Jordan Matthews and Chris Board, the top receiving duo in the Southeastern Conference. Coming into this game, they had combined for 67 catches, over 1,000 yards. And I love Boyd's per catch average at almost 20 per grab.
Yeah, he really benefits because of now the attention that Jordan Matthews is getting. Boyd has really stepped up his game.
Shocking to see Boyd with 0 touchdown grabs. He was a touchdown maker a year ago.
Yeah, he had 8. He led the team in touchdown receptions with 8. Big receiver, really good in the red zone.
Boy, up-tempo offense again by Vanderbilt. Here's Stacy. He'll get it out to the 48, maybe 49-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down, and let's call it 4.
Yeah, you and I talking during the break. Why didn't they go back to that up-tempo stuff? Yeah. A little more wildcat, where they had a lot of success on that first drive and went right down the field against this Auburn defense. Well, it didn't take James Franklin long to get back to it.
Rodgers avoids the potential sack, and he had the 1st down, and I don't know if he backpedaled and lost it or not. This will be a close spot.
Well, I don't know if he backpedaled or he was knocked back by Demetrius McNeil. I think he's going to have the 1st down, but he kind of folded up. Really didn't want to take that. You know what? Just dive forward. When you fold up like that, man, a guy can get a big shot on you. Does a nice job of avoiding the rush. Right there, just get low and dive forward. He would have been at about the 45-yard line and easily would have had the 1st down.
And you still took the shot. You might as well take the shot, try to get the 1st down.
Right? and make sure it's a 1st down. Looks like it's a little short now. James Franklin has gone for it on 2 4th downs. He's 100%, 2 for 2. No need. And when you get about the 50-yard line, almost a given now in today's college football game or college football world, the coaches are going to go for it on 4th down.
Andre, what's your favorite play right here?
Yeah, you know it. Quarterback sneak. Don't mess around with ball handling. Get behind big Spencer Pulley and just get forward, get low, and get some push.
They will hand it off. Stacy stood up at the line. This will be very, very interesting. They will spot it at the Auburn 48. They needed to get to the 47, and the Tigers stand tall.
Yeah, don't even need to measure it. It's just, I don't know why you take the football and go back to a guy that's lined up about 7, 8 yards deep, and you allow the penetration. Excellent play by Casanova McKenzie as well as Demetrius McNeil to kind of close that thing out against Zach Stacy. But I see it week to week. And why don't you just get behind the center, wedge your way in there? You just need a couple of inches for the 1st down. But when you line up and take it, first the ball handling with the center, he's trying to get low. And then you got to take it to Stacy, who's 7, 8 yards deep. You allow for the penetration.
Andre, I have been thoroughly impressed with the true freshman Casanova McKenzie.
He's a player.
Today.
He is a player.
Linebacker already with 8 tackles in the 1st half. 3:43 to go. Little play fake to Mason. Mosley all day to throw, over the middle, pass caught. Emory Blake with the reception. That should be good enough for the 1st down. They spotted at the 42. Give him 11.
Well, you get the football around Emory Blake. He's got excellent hands, and he just plucks it out of the air. I mean, just reaches up, snags it real quick, and then he's north and south. That's what I like most about Emory Blake. No hesitation. Turn, he gets north and south in a hurry.
Mason hurdles a couple of players and has another 1st down at the 30-yard line. Ladler brings him down, but that's 11 more yards.
Boy, John Sullen, the left guard. Watch the block he throws. Working against Rob Lohr, who's a a good player for Vanderbilt. Pancake block at the line of scrimmage. Watch 71 right there. Trey, just right here behind me, big fella.
Curtis Looper.
That's nice work there.
Curtis Looper, the running backs coach, has to be excited with the play of Trey Mason today. Here's Blake in motion across the formation. They'll play fake to Mason. Throw down. Blake, catch inside the 10. It's first and goal, Auburn. Andre Howell runs him out of bounds, but a well-executed play that took some time to develop.
Yeah, it developed, and Blake ran a nice route right here. He sets it up. Stem, that little stem at the top was what got him open, wide open against Andre Howell. And you look at the numbers of Emory Blake, they're not like they have been in the past because of the inconsistencies at quarterback, but he is still a dynamic playmaker in the SEC.
First and goal from the 6-yard line. McCaleb in the game alongside Mosley. Play clock at 2-1. They just do get the snap off. McCaleb working left side. Did he get in? Just shy at the 1, a gain of 5. And remember, in this situation for Gene Chizik, there is no Philip Lutzenkirchen. This is usually his area.
Yeah,
he's out with a bad hip.
Big physical tight end. They can line him up everywhere.
Offset eye. Mason working left side. He gets it into the end zone. Touchdown, Auburn from a yard out. The Tigers have taken the lead 9-7. 1:21 to play. Cody Parkey in to attempt the point after. Ryan White will hold. And the kick is good. So Auburn, after giving up a 75-yard drive to start the game, have settled in nicely. A good 4th down stand by the defense gives the O the football, and the Tigers now have the lead. Good look at Vanderbilt Stadium. A lot of orange in the building as Auburn takes a 10-7 lead. Coming up on the C Spire halftime report, of course, LSU and Texas A&M going at it. A&M right now out in front of LSU. South Carolina and Florida, big Eastern Division showdown. Coach Spurrier back down at his old stomping grounds in Gainesville, and all the top 25 highlights for you. Dari Noka, Kevin Carter back in our studios for the C Spire halftime report. 1:21 on the clock for the Commodores when they get the football here before halftime. Impressed with Auburn. And Andre, you said it, momentum is such a huge part of this game. And there is no doubt that it has swung to the guys wearing the white jerseys today.
Self-inflicted wounds by Vanderbilt has kind of breathed life into the lungs of this Auburn team. And instead of playing downhill, now you're playing on your heels.
Kimbrough. Still on his feet and out to the 22-yard line. Give him a 22-yard return. Trey Mason.
Well, here's the self-inflicted wounds. I was talking about the 2 fumbles. Wesley Tate, that one's still questionable in my mind. But then here, they put it on the ground again. Auburn gets excellent field position. They're able to come up with a field goal. And then on a questionable call, in my opinion, on 4th down and an inch, that's what's done it for Auburn. And as I mentioned, instead of playing downhill like they did on the first drive, now playing on their heels a little bit are the Commodores.
Yeah, they had such great rhythm and tempo on that opening drive. You know, what adjustments has Auburn done defensively to maybe force Auburn out of their comfort zone.
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily what Auburn's done defensively. It's what Vanderbilt's done on offense. They've gone more under center, more of the pro-style stuff. When that opening drive, there were a lot of wildcat stuff, spread plays, and it got Auburn in space and away from playing just in the box. So I think they got to go back to that offensively.
And some movement on that front.
Yeah, somebody flinched. It looked like the left guard, Ryan Seymour, who's a very experienced player.
Offense, 62, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of snaps up front, fifth-year senior.
Let's go downstairs, check in with Kara.
That false start is going to kill Herb Hand. Vanderbilt's offensive line coach just telling the O-line, this is going to be a fist fight. We need perfect execution, get your pad levels down, and outwork them. Get back to that, Dave.
Herb Hand's one of my favorites in college football.
Here's Rogers. He'll get it out over the 30. He's close to the first down, maybe a yard shy. Yeah, Herb Hand's been around. He's well respected in the business as an excellent offensive line coach. Quick snap near side. Pass caught by Boyd. He hurdles a man out over the 40. That'll be a first down.
Well, these receivers, Dave, really do a nice job of blocking out on the edges. We've seen Boyd throw a couple of blocks for Matthews. In that instance, it's Krause throwing a nice block for Chris Boyd.
Rogers dumps it off to Zach Stacy. Vanderbilt thinking about a timeout here, and they will get one. Pickup of 8. Jonathan Mincy with the stop. Clock stops at 38.
There's that up-tempo, spread you out in space. If you just try to get in the box with this big defensive line of Auburn, you're not built for that if you're Vanderbilt. It's an undersized offensive line that only has one player over 300 or at 300 pounds, and that's Seymour, who was just flagged for the false start.
You got 2 timeouts left for Vanderbilt. Still can go down the middle of the field if you need to. You're a kicker. Kerry Spear, his long is 44. So you're going to need to get it near the 30-yard line, if not a few yards inside of that, based on his prior long of the season.
Yeah, you're trying to work the edges where you can get a catch and get out of bounds, or maybe a shallow cross, a receiver crossing, so you hit him on the move and he can get himself out of bounds to save some time and maybe a timeout. Vanderbilt still with 2 timeouts here in 38 seconds. First down, the clock's going to stop to move the chain, so plenty of time for Jordan Rogers to put something together.
Today's 1st and 10 line brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Pressure comes. Pass caught by the tight end, Chris Quintera. His second grab today, gain of 6.
That right there is a fine example. Hit a receiver close to the sideline, and it's got to be quick decisions as well from Jordan Rogers. You get some pressure here from Auburn. Get back, get set, and the ball has to come out. You can't hold it.
Rogers today, 10 out of 15, 93 yards. Again, near side. Here's Quintera. Boy, coaches were talking to us about the young tight end, Stephen Shaw and Chris Quintera. A couple of guys they like down the road, still kind of finding their way.
Yeah, lost a good one to graduation. Brandon Barden, he's on the practice squad here with the Tennessee Titans. A good, solid player.
They will swing it out to Zach Stacy. He's got a little bit of running room. Gets a block, and he's inside the 25 down to the 23.
I think now is when you take one of those timeouts so you don't have to rush.
Coach Franklin telling Jordan Rogers he wants him to ground the football. He will spike it right there, and that'll stop the clock with 20 seconds.
Here's my question. Why would you spike it in that sense and waste a down? You got a timeout, just take the timeout. You have 2 timeouts left here in the first half. Why not just call the timeout?
Well, you're going to have 2 downs. If you use the timeout, the clock would have stopped.
I take the timeout and save the down.
I mean, I guess that's the argument you make.
It gives me one more play at the end zone.
Here's Rodgers. Pressure comes from the backside, unloads, and it's incomplete. Looking for Krause, and now it's third down.
My point exactly right here. Instead of having one shot at it, you have another one, and you're not rushed. Just don't know what do you do with those timeouts when you go in the locker room at halftime?
Maybe
do they give a motivational speech or something in the locker room?
He called timeout in there. I don't know. Third down and 10. Ball sits at the 22, and now Auburn will use their final timeout.
Timeout, Auburn. That is their last timeout of the first half. We have 30-second timeout.
From here, it would be a 39-yard field goal, well inside Spears' range, who's had a solid year, 10 out of 13. His misses this year are from 44, 46, 51. And with that timeout, that'll give us an opportunity to get some of the rust off Dari. I know he's had some time to get a cup of coffee, but time to work, Dari. What's up?
Time to work. Come on now. I'll tell you what, we got plenty of drama to show you here. LSU putting something together here in the second quarter against Texas A&M. We will show you that coming up at halftime. And Ohio State struggling at home.
Well, this Vanderbilt team, Dari, it looked like gangbusters to start this one, but they have gotten their four-wheel truck stuck in the mud here. Chance to tie or take the lead with the ball sitting at the 22-yard line with 16 seconds to play, and Vanderbilt still has those two timeouts in their pocket.
Third down.
10th play of this drive. Rodgers will keep it right up the middle. He'll go inside the 15, and an injured Vanderbilt lineman as well. Back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. It's like Josh Gillespie, the right guard, has been steady all year, and they moved him over from the defensive line to right guard last year, and his coaches rave about the adjustment that he's made to this point, but hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah, they said Josh last year just kind of figured it all out on the offensive side of the ball, but has really molded into a solid guard.
Deer in the headlights is what he was last year when he made that move, but he's gotten comfortable at right guard and has really settled in and has become a steady player for him.
Senior out of Naperville, Illinois.
Just keep a look at him right here. See it, just pulling him around, kick out block, and just kind of twist. The knee just kind of gave a little bit. This kick out block and just gave Jordan Rodgers enough to get himself through.
Let's hope that young man is all right. We'll get an update on his status after halftime. 3 seconds to play here before intermission. And here comes Kerry Spear from the far hash. This will be a 30-yard field goal. Andrew East will snap it. Richard Kent, the punter, will hold it. Commodores trying to tie it up here. And he gets it inside the uprights. So it was a nice drive by Vanderbilt. Had just a shade over a minute before halftime when they got the football. They got it in field goal range and they tied it up. And I got to think momentum certainly in favor of Auburn here heading into the locker room.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you turn the football over and gift field position on a couple of occasions. That's what does it with momentum.
All right, Kara's alongside Gene Chizik.
Auburn leading the turnover battle in this first half. What do the Tigers need to do to seize momentum in the second half?
Well, we got to get, when we have opportunities to make big plays, we've had quarterback sacks that we've let get away from us. We just got to capitalize. We've had plenty of opportunities offensively to get down there and at least get 3 points. We just got to play more consistent, but again, it's going to come down to the same thing I've said for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Fourth quarter, we got to win it.
How do you reinforce that message right now with your players?
Oh, it'll be easy. They know it. I don't need to say it.
All right, thanks, Coach. Dave?
Yeah, pretty simple.
Second half, win in the fourth quarter.
That's it. It's a club that's been outscored in the fourth quarter 62-3 this year. Auburn will try to change that number. It is halftime. Time for us to send it to our C Spire halftime report. Dark and Kevin. Guys. Football game here in Nashville. Vanderbilt 10, Auburn 10, moments away from third quarter football. The Vanderbilt Commodores opened up this game on a lengthy 8.5-minute drive, 75 yards, 16 plays, and they look like world beaters. But since then, I'll tell you what, Auburn's done a fantastic job of kind of just staying in the game. And you look at the numbers, 44 plays for Vanderbilt, 22 for Auburn, but it's the Tigers that's taken advantage of some Vanderbilt miscues.
Yeah, they really have. You look at third downs for Auburn, they're hadn't converted one, and then turning the football over. Vanderbilt has provided Auburn with some tremendous field position that they have indeed taken advantage of.
Yeah, the Auburn Tigers have just a shade over 100 yards of offense, but they put together a couple of nice drives in the second.
Yeah, it started with a nice quick pass out to Emery Blake, a curl route along the left sideline, and then the deep one here. He's going to run a post corner right here, and then a straighten, and then back to the crossing route, and this is what gets him open against Andre Howell. That little one right there, the patience to reset the defensive back, and then it was Trey Mason doing what he's done the last couple of weeks of getting himself into the end zone.
Take a look at our first half stats brought to you by Crystal. Nothing like it. You see that 110 yards of offense for Auburn, 208 for Vandy. Third downs, goose egg for the Tigers. Throw all that out the window, though, because we're all knotted up at 10. Here's McCaleb. He's tripped up at the 15 and falls forward out to the 18-yard line.
Dave, that post route that Blake ran to set Auburn up for the Trey Mason touchdown run was a thing of beauty. I mean, you talk about putting on clinics for receivers. That ought to be on somebody's highlight reel right there. How you get yourself open in man-to-man coverage. Just that little reset. The little stem up the field on Andre Howell, and then it just got him wide open. That was a thing of beauty.
The Auburn offense out on the field. Clint Mosley will be the first one to pull the trigger for the Tigers. Mason at tailback. Mosley 5 out of 6, 46 yards in the first half. Mason cuts it back, breaks a tackle. He's out to the 29-yard line, close to the first down. Javon Marshall, the safety, comes up to make the play.
Well, you got to make plays in space if you're Carl Butler right there. That's where you got to close outside in and make sure to wrap up on Trey Mason. Remember I told you last week, the first guy to arrive at the doorstep of Trey Mason never makes the tackle. He does an outstanding job of making you miss, and he's got enough power to run through arm tackles. If you just stick your arm out there, forget about tackling Trey Mason.
10 carries, 49 yards. Came in averaging a shade over 5 yards a carry, so close to that number today. McCaleb in at tailback. Brosh your fullback. The pitch to McCaleb, trying to use some of that 4.3 speed, and he'll pick up 9.5 yards. Walker May brings him down, that junior defensive end out of Birmingham, Alabama, close to the first down line.
Right on schedule with Mason. Came out and ran the football with him. 10 carries in the ball game. They talked about Dave wanting to get him 20-plus carries. And they're giving him the touches necessary.
Prosh, the fullback, will take the football over the first down line for Prosh's third carry of the season.
Got a carry last week. It's a transfer from Illinois. He came in January. Wanted to be closer to his mother, who was ill, who recently passed away. And he's just a fantastic kid and a good story. The youngest in his family. Handled things well and got right back to practice in school.
Out of Mobile, Alabama. Jonathan Wallace in at quarterback. He will hand it off to McCaleb. Turns the corner. Bumped out of bounds, but that'll be another Tiger first down there in Vanderbilt territory at the 45. 12 more yards, and the Tigers ripping off some big chunks of this new artificial surface.
Yeah, pretty good blocks. As Prosh, we just talked about on the edge, as well as Emory Blake. Right there, nice blocks to give McCaleb the edge, and we know what type of speed he has, one of the fastest players in the country.
6 carries, 37 yards now for McCaleb. Wallace will keep it. Bounces off a couple of black jerseys and coughs up the football. But the steady hands of Jay Prosh come up with a football, but they lose 10 yards when it's all said and done.
Prosh kind of right on the spot, right place at the right time. If I'm Andre Howell, when this ball comes out and you see Archibald there and it's kind of poked out of there by Kyle Westerman, I got to push Kyle Prosh. Get him, Jay Prosh. Get him away from the football so another defender can make a play and maybe a fumble recovery, because he's got a better angle to it than I do.
So Westman forces the fumble, but Vandy can't come up with it. Looking at second down, and let's call it 19. Big hit over the middle. Emery Blake will hold on to the football, picks up 6.
Eric Samuels, good size for a safety at 6 foot, 200 pounds. And boy, Blake, I am impressed with him. Great hands, excellent route runner, and they're showing you the toughness it takes to go over the middle.
By the way, good job by Samuels to lead with the shoulder, not the helmet.
Yep.
Clint Mosley in at quarterback on third down and 13. Here's some pressure, and Mosley's dropped. Auburn now 0 for 6 on third down opportunities.
Well, Kyle Westman is everywhere. I mean, it's a nice job in pass rush off the edge for this Vanderbilt defense right there, working against the true freshman Patrick Miller. It was a nice job of getting to Clint Mosley and stopping a drive, Dave, that had some momentum initially.
Well, he beat 2 blockers to get to the quarterback.
Good punt here.
Stephen Clark, great hang time. Fair catch called for by Jonathan Krause at the 15, 41-yard punt. Jordan Rogers will get his first chance here in the second half. The Commodores have the football. We're tied at 10. We are tied at 10. Vanderbilt will have the football for the first time in the second half. And speaking of Vanderbilt, Kara had a chance to catch up with James Franklin out of the locker room. Kara, what did he have to say?
Well, Dave, it isn't often when a head coach asks me if the field actually slanted upward during the second quarter. He was so frustrated. He knew Vanderbilt had that early momentum, and he said they just shot themselves in the foot. Penalties, turnovers, silly mistakes. He said, listen, guys, this game is simple. We just need to execute our jobs consistently, take care of business.
And they had a couple of penalties in there that just kind of cost them as well. But a quick snap to the far side. Here's Matthews. He will spin out to the 31, and that's a gain of 16 right out of the gates.
Another excellent block by Jonathan Krause, the slot receiver. And right here, you see it, just lets it go. Look at that block right there, right in the middle. And then Matthews, that enables him to turn up the sideline.
Here's Zach Stacy. Driving his way to the 40. That's close to 10 yards. Boy, we talked to Coach Franklin about Zach Stacy. I said, he doesn't look like a guy that can carry it 25 to 30 times a game. And he goes, you must not have seen him walk down the hallway here. He said he is a built, stout young man.
He had an excellent year a year ago and was voted All-SEC second team by the coaches and media. Nice job.
5'9", 210 pounds, and he is one ball of muscle. And he will pick up the first down, and that'll be 3 yards on that carry. So he now has 15 carries, 68 yards, came in needing 132 for the school's all-time rushing record.
He's a workhorse. He doesn't come out of the game until he taps that helmet and asks to come out for a breather. But he's one of those backs that seems to get better as the game progresses.
First down and 10. This time it's Tate. Turns the corner. They will run him out of bounds at the 49-yard line. That's a gain of 6. Well, time now for SEC Trivia Challenge, brought to you by Regions Bank. The question is, Zach Stacy chasing down this career rushing record at Vanderbilt. Do you know who is Vanderbilt's all-time leading rusher? I do, only because I researched it.
That's a good question. I do not know the answer to that.
There are a lot of people that probably don't know the answer to that, but they will in a moment when we give them the answer. Second down and 4. Here's Stacy. He's down to the 33-yard line, inching ever so closely to that record. That's 18 more yards.
Well, they've done a nice job of running this play throughout the football game, where they run the counter, and they're going to pull 81 Stephen Shoy around. Watch the kick-out block right there. That's what frees it up for Zach Stacy to get himself to the second and then third level of this Auburn Tiger defense.
Needs 46 yards. Zach Stacy will keep it off the right side. He's got the football. Knocked out of bounds inside the 5, down to the 2-yard line by Demetrius McNeil. That is 30 yards.
Right here, they came out in this wildcat formation, getting guys pulled. Nice block by Andrew Bridges, the right tackle, and then it's the speed. We talked about how physical he is between the tackles, but he's got enough speed to make plays outside on the edges, and that's just a fine job of being a football player by Zach Stacy.
Up over 100 yards, 17 carries, 117 yards. Out of the I formation on 1st and goal. Here's Stacy, finishes it off, walks into the end zone.
He made it look easy, didn't he? Pretty good blocks up front and walked in untouched. We'll watch here, nice block. Spencer Pulley, the center, as well as Seymour and Gillespie inside. Wesley Johnson clearing things out, and he's not touched until he's well into the end zone. How about that drive, Dave?
7 plays, 85 yards, 2:56 off the clock, and that was the Zach Stacy clinic. Zach Stacy needs just 14 more yards.
Honestly, when I'm looking at this game and found out he needed 132, I said Auburn's going to be stingy. It's going to be a close football game. I didn't think it was going to happen this week. 14 yards, and we've got a lot of the third and the entire fourth quarter left.
Well, let's revisit the Regions Bank trivia question, and we will give you the answer to who is Vanderbilt's all-time leading rusher, at least for the moment. Frank Mordick in 1976, 1979. He had 2,672 yards rushing for the Commodores, and carrier 2, and that will be the new Vandy standard. Well, fans, be sure to visit the Regions tent 2 weeks in Starkville, Mississippi for their SEC Trivia Challenge. Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC. Spears kick will settle 2 yards deep to Ontario McCaleb, who is belted by Wesley Tate inside the 15-yard line. Whoa, what a hit.
Who said he wasn't a physical player? Running backs aren't supposed to cover and hit people like that on special teams, but wow, I don't know that he slowed down or came under control. Watch this. Oh, that had some thump to it. And you could see the neck of McCaleb kind of snap back from the jolt he took from Wesley Tate.
So now Auburn's offense is backed up inside the 20-yard line. 17-10 Commodores. Nowhere to run for Trey Mason. Mason today 11 carries, 49 yards. Jonell Thomas with the stop for the Doors.
Jake Seelan in the game as well, a true freshman at middle linebacker who they really rave about. They just say he has it. The coaches feel he's got all SEC talent. Maybe the future in the middle for Vanderbilt.
He comes out of a great football program in Tucker High School just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Mosley will sling it, nearly picked off. Kenny Ladler had his hands on it, and it falls incomplete. You know, Vandy's only had 2 interceptions all year.
And he kind of stared this one down to the tight end, Izama right here, and Ladler made a nice break on the football. But you stare it down and teams are in zone coverage, you're at a disadvantage. They are going to key your eyes, break on the football every time. You got to move them with your eyes in zone coverage.
Third down.
Showing some pressure.
And here's a whistle. Did Auburn get a timeout?
I think he did. The play clock was...
Timeout. Auburn. That is their first timeout, the second half.
Well, with that timeout, that'll give us an opportunity to take a break as well. 3rd and 10 coming up for Gene Chizik and his Auburn Tigers. Today's SEC Network game is brought to you by Allstate, proud sponsor of the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Are you in good hands? Chevrolet, from kickoff to the last yard, Chevy runs deep. NFL Mobile from Verizon, built to bring you the game. And by the BBVA Compass Bowl, January 5th in Birmingham, Alabama. James Franklin with a big smile on his face. We'll have another smile here if his club can shut down Auburn on 3rd down. Tigers.
There's reason to. Excellent drive, and then getting Auburn in 3rd down and long. His team has all the momentum.
A little pressure from the Commodores. Mosley hit as he throws. Pass is caught. Quan Bray to the 21, but he needed to get it out over the 25. That's a gain of 7. Walker May chases him down. Boy, Walker's just been solid all year.
Yeah, he has. Talking to Bob Shoop, the defensive coordinator, described him as their best defensive player and just has a motor that never stops. Their best pass rusher as well. 5 tackles already today and a tackle, 1 for a loss.
There's Bob Shoop in the middle of that with the hat on, defensive coordinator for the Commodores. High kick. Kraus will get hit right as he had his hands on it. And once again, is that McCaleb?
Yeah, kick coverage interference on McCaleb again.
Remember, Krause was a young man that called a fair catch last year and got lit up during the Arkansas game.
This will be another free 15 yards on McCaleb.
Number 21 in the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
That'll go against Jones, Jonathan Jones, but what? Keep an eye on 23, though. I think it's nope. McCaleb was on the outside. Yeah. He stayed away from it, so it was
apologies. It's Jones, and while we're at it, let's keep an eye on number 2, who's about 13 yards shy of becoming Vandy's all-time leading rusher.
They will throw it here on first down and 10. Rodgers on the run, just throws it out of bounds.
Smart play by an experienced senior quarterback. Nothing there. You don't want to force it and turn the football over when you have excellent field position. Rodgers for the game, 13 of 20, 130 yards. He's also contributed 5 rushes for 27 yards. And Stacy, who we just talked about, Dave, 5 carries, 64 yards, and capped that last drive with a touchdown run.
Here's Rodgers. He is met at the 35 and flipped back by Chris Davis, who was out last week with an injury. Didn't start today, but Davis has made an impact with 5 stops.
Boy, they list Davis at 5'11", but boy, does he look a lot bigger than that. Just a well put together football player. Was out last week, as you mentioned, with concussion type symptoms, and they missed him.
Today's First and 10 line brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Vanderbilt 5 out of 11 on third downs. They're looking at third down and 10. Stacy will stay in to protect. Rodgers is hit. It's incomplete. Pressure came from Jake Holland, the middle linebacker, and that'll bring up a 4th down situation now for Vanderbilt. Zach Stacy didn't touch it one time.
Yeah, just decided to come out and throw the football around a little bit in this drive, and excellent pressure when they bring Jake Holland. He's able to get there. And Rodgers had time. He had Matthews on a corner route. It was close, but enough room to the sideline to really lead him away from the defender. But Holland did a nice job.
Kent, that ball will hit at the 3 and head into the end zone. So a touchback, and Auburn will have the football. So the defense does its job, gets the football back. Now the offense will try to get back in this. They're down a touchdown. Well, thank you, Dari. As we look at our game summary brought to you by Woodman of the World. You see Vanderbilt up a touchdown. Trey Mason, 49 yards on the ground. But Vanderbilt, opening drive of each half, they have marched it down the field and put it in the end zone. But after that,
start outsmarting themselves, basically. And I'm Auburn right here. I go right back to Trey Mason. Get him going again.
Emory Blake, the senior, makes the catch. Gain of 6 on the play.
Yeah, Javon Marshall was the first to show up, but when you go flying in there, you better make sure you make solid contact and get a guy like Blake down. Otherwise, he can make you pay. And he went from no gain to about 5 or 6 on that reception.
Second down and 4. Caleb, he comes in motion near side. They'll fake it to him and give it to Mason, who breaks a tackle. And another tackle. He's got some running room and run out of bounds down at the 30, make it the 40-yard line. Trey Wilson pushes him out of bounds, but that's 34 yards for Mr. Mason.
Yeah, Marshall with a tackle, but some pretty good blocks up front. Right tackle Patrick Miller throws the block that frees up Mason, and he shows some patience, allowing Miller to set the block and then watch the cut right there. The first guy to arrive at the doorstep of Mason rarely brings him down. He's a slippery runner with power.
Javon Marshall had him wrapped up, but only briefly. And some movement. C.J. Uzomah.
Start. Offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Former high school quarterback that gave it a shot at wide receiver. They got him lined up as a tight end now.
We were just kind of wondering with Mason coming into the season, could he be the workhorse you needed? Could he be that every down back that could take a pounding and keep coming back? I think he's more than proven that he's capable of doing it. Last week, 2 rushing touchdowns. Already one here, Dave, in this ball game.
Mosley will swing it to McCaleb. Here comes a swarm of black jerseys, and McCaleb runs out of bounds. Trey Wilson on the coverage. No gain on the play.
Wilson had a fantastic year last year. 3 picks, 2 of them he took to the house for touchdowns, and he was the only player in the SEC to do that. That play kept outside leverage, not allowing McCaleb, the speed player, to get outside of him, because if you do, he can cause you problems. That's a nice play by Wilson.
Yeah, he had a 100-yard interception return for a touchdown this year as well.
Just has a nose for the end zone.
Second down and long. Patrick Miller, the true freshman, pops up out of his stance, and that'll be 5 more going backwards.
5-yard penalty. Second down.
He's kind of gone back and forth with Avery Young at that position. It's kind of who has the better week of practice. Young started last week and won the job, or the consideration to be the first going in about halfway through camp, and he's very athletic for his size. But Miller, they went back to this week at that right tackle spot.
Boy, it's second down and 20. Quan Bray dragged down at midfield. No gain on the play. Eric Samuels read it and made the play.
Well, when you play defense against an offense that wants to throw these quick, low bubble screens, you better be excellent in tackling in the open field. And a couple of occasions, Samuels has risen and made some nice stops in the open field. Senior strong safety. They like to slide him down inside the box. Physical player.
Here comes some heat. Chase Gardner untouched all the way to Mosley. Another loss of 10, his second sack today.
Boy, they do a nice job, Bob Shoop, of timing this blitz with Chase Gardner. They allow, watch here, 36. The pass protection is going to declare itself right there, and then he times it. Untouched. You got to have a sense for that, Dave. Timing, even when you blitz, it's not just cut yourself loose to get to the quarterback.
Here's Kraus. Fair catch, this time no flags. Well, some postseason football. It's the SEC taking on the Big East in the BBVA Compass Bowl in Birmingham, Alabama on January 5th. For you, an opportunity to get some tickets and more information, be sure to visit bbvacompassbowl.com today. Well, Jordan Rogers, 13 out of 21, 131 yards. Zach Stacy needs 13 yards for Vanderbilt's all-time rushing record. Here's a toss sweep. Zach Stacy will get it to the 22-yard line, brought down by Corey Lemonier, who disappeared last week and is just now making his presence felt today. This guy was a preseason All-American, and he's really missed D Ford, the other defensive end, 95, who has been banged up. And without his counterpart, it's really been tough on Corey.
Yeah, it's allowed offenses to really double-team him without the threat of somebody coming from the backside and D Ford. So He didn't start today, but he's available. And as we're making our way, Dave, into quarter number 4.
Well, that'll do it for the third quarter, where Auburn has struggled mightily. They have been outscored 62-3. See what they have in store today. That man, though, chasing Vanderbilt history. He is on his way to becoming the all-time leading rusher. Can he do it in the final 15? We head to the final 15. Gene Chizik has said it all week to us repeatedly. Said it to Garrett on the way to the locker room at halftime. We have got to close a game out. They have yet to score a touchdown in the fourth quarter this year. They are down a touchdown right now. And Vanderbilt has the football. Looking at a second down coming up. I mean, it has been crazy.
Yeah.
Their fourth quarter struggle.
62-3, outscored by opponents.
Little speed sweep coming near side. Big hit. Brian Kimbrough, who's got great speed, but not a whole lot of beef on that 5'8" frame, 180 pounds, only a yard. And Casanova McKenzie with the big hit. Andre, that is now double-figure stops for the true freshman linebacker.
Boy, he has really played an outstanding game, and I think he's just an instinctive player. They're still waiting on him to kind of absorb the entire defensive playbook, but he's got enough of it down to where he can go out and make some plays sideline to sideline.
If there's something Auburn needs right now, it's some playmakers. And he has done that today in his first career start. Rodgers. A little bit behind and low for Jordan Matthews. That's incomplete. So once again, the Auburn defense giving their club a chance.
Stepped up, getting themselves off the field defensively. They were about 36% on third downs defensively. They've been solid today.
Richard Kent will punt. Stands at the 10. Back to return, Quan Bray. This one is definitely returnable. Quan Bray out near midfield, so excellent field position for the Auburn Tigers after a 38-yard punt. Time now for the C Spire conference call. For that, we'll take a look at our SEC standings, and there are 3 teams that are unbeaten. Florida 5-0, taking on South Carolina today. Boy, you know the Bulldogs got a little rooting interest in that one. They would love to see Florida win that one. On the flip side, Alabama, Mississippi State, if they can keep it going, there could be a monumental clash between those two clubs.
Mississippi State stepping out of conference today with Middle Tennessee.
That won't be easy.
No, that'll be a tough football game.
Trey Mason trips over his own man. Reese Dismukes, the center, trying to make that block. Reese has done a nice job. They've only had one kind of hiccup at center today with Reese, and he's got that bad elbow.
Yeah, hyperextended his elbow. He was all freshman last season, SEC all freshman team last year, and was ESPN's #1 recruit at center when he came out of high school. But a good, solid football player in the middle if they can just keep him healthy.
Second down, 9. Nice play fake. That buys Mosley a lot of time. He's got Prosh in front of him, dumps it off to the fullback, who gets it to the 44-yard line. Carl Butler makes the tackle. That's a gain of 6.
Yeah, he waited a while because he wanted to give Emory Blake a chance on a corner route, and it's a high-low read. And you'll see here the eyes go down the field to Blake. Prosh sneaks himself out, and they had Blake covered up on the back end. Wilson underneath, as well as Marshall over the top, and he finds Prosh for a nice play. Auburn 0 for 7 on third downs today.
Wallace in at quarterback. He'll keep it. He'll have the first down inside the 40. Ball comes free, picked up by Auburn, but they'll blow the play dead back at the 37-yard line. Jalen Denson came running out of there with the football. After what we saw yesterday with last week with Jeff Scott when he popped up off a defender for a touchdown, you got to keep your eyes open.
Boy, Chad Slade threw a nice block against Jake Thielen, the true freshman linebacker.
Well, that sure looked like a fumble to me. And the ball popped free for Denson, who was about to take off for a touchdown. Play was blown dead, however. Wallace flushed out of the pocket, turns the corner, and it is lit up, and flags come in.
Archibald Barnes, you get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty there. Just hit. He lays into Wallace. And just you got to know when to pull up.
Dead ball, personal foul. Late hit out of bounds, number 15 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Boy, Gene Chizik.
You know what I liked about that with Wallace? He takes the shot from Barnes right there. And then he just pops right back up and starts his way back to the field. I like that, showing some toughness, not allowing or showing the opponent that they've gotten to you.
So now it's first down and 10, Andre. The ball's moved inside the 25-yard line. Mosley under center. McCaleb's your tailback. Inside the 20. That's a gain of about 4.
Really not built to run between the tackles at 5'11", 173, but he does a better job than you anticipate. There's a nice feel for picking his way along and setting blocks, and certainly has the burst you need once he declares where he's going. That's a nice drive by Auburn, Dave, to get themselves back in this game.
Mason. Once again, Andre, you call it, first man can't get him down.
First guy has no chance. Andre Howell does an excellent job closing from outside in, and Mason just sees it, steps around it, and then continues on and picks up a couple of yards. Or doesn't, at least doesn't take the lick or the loss in the backfield.
Now it's third down and 8.
Big for Vanderbilt. You want to keep Auburn chasing. Don't want this drive to continue and give up the big points.
Throws to the wide side. Incomplete. Ball one hops to Trevon Reed. And here comes the Auburn kicking team.
Some pretty good pressure defensively by Vanderbilt. Number 90, Walker May, their best pass rusher, forced Mosley into a quick throw to Trevon Reed that he was unable to come up with.
So Cody Parkey will come in. He's hit from 27. He is now 10 out of 11 this year. This will be from 39 yards on the far hash. Jake Lemke to snap. Ryan White to hold. And this settles nicely between the uprights. So Auburn picks up 3. Just their 4th, 5th, and 6th points in the 4th quarter this year. They have yet to put it in the end zone in the 4th. They trail by 4. 9:55 to play. Today's SEC Network game is brought to you by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. Dr. Pepper. Tell the world what makes you one of a kind with the I'm a hashtag on Twitter. Honda Generators. Enter the Honda Generators tailgate giveaway for your chance to win a new Honda generator. And by Hyundai. Go online and show your loyalty to your school at HyundaiShowYourLoyalty.com. Great shots of the Music City in Nashville. What a great town. Always a joy coming up here to the Music City. Auburn last year in 2008. That was a game in which Vanderbilt actually knocked off the Tigers 14-13, but Auburn's won 13 of the last 14 in this series. These two coaches, though, had nothing to do with that last one.
This is a fight. 9:55 left in the fourth quarter. Vanderbilt has to continue to move the football, and Auburn needs it back. A touchdown would give them the lead.
Well, we'd like to recognize our friends at Allstate for their charitable contributions across the country. Since 2005, Allstate has donated more than $2.8 million through the Good Hands Field Goal Net program to benefit University General Scholarship Funds. Boy, good look at Vanderbilt Stadium, another capacity crowd.
Great campus, good city. Just love coming in to do a game here at Vanderbilt. You know what I'd do right here, Dave?
Give it to 2.
I'd turn around and give it to 2. Just tell he needed a water break.
Well, the last 2 drives, he's only touched it 1 time, and they've had to punt on both of those drives. Stacy will stay in to protect Rogers. Slings it down, passes dropped right into the hands of Chris Boyd.
We're right in the hands. Can't throw a better football. Can't throw a better pass than that to Chris Boyd, and you don't see him drop a lot of them.
Only needs 11 yards to become Vanderbilt's all-time leading rusher. Today with 121 yards on the ground, averaging over 6 yards a carry. Came in averaging 5 yards a carry.
Well, that average is why I would give it to him. You need a successful play to happen. You give it to 2. Now you're pretty much in another passing situation here.
They will play fake it to Stacy. Roll right again. Loft it up. Give Boyd another chance. This time he makes the catch. Still on his feet. And he has run out of bounds. Let's see where they finally spot it. At the 38-yard line.
Auburn certainly thought Stacy was going to get the football. They come up. It allows for Boyd to get behind the defense. And, well, you could punt one out there. He was so wide open. Nice job there. Tight rope in the sideline for a few additional yards.
Gain of 37.
Now's when you give it to 2.
Hand off left side. Stacy tripped up inside the 35 by Chris Davis. Gain of 4, so he needs 7 yards.
Let's go back and check out how Chris Boyd got himself wide open. Watch the play fake. And then he's just going to find an area in this end, right in here. Nice job of setting it up. You see it? Making it look like he's going to block. And then right there, big area for Jordan Rogers to throw the football into. That's an excellent play. Well designed. Think and run. They blocked well on the edges all game long. And that's what freed him up.
Second down at 6. 8.5 to play. Little razzle-dazzle. Reverse. Josh Grady trying to get the corner and will lose a couple of yards. Jonathan Mincy runs him out of bounds.
You're having success running Zach Stacy just about every time he touches the football. And you pull that one out of the playbook and it goes for a loss. Only thing it did was maybe extend the play long enough where it chewed up some clock, but I don't get it.
Well, now you're at 3rd down and 8. Six Tigers up in that box. McKenzie, pressure on the quarterback. Boyd flies through the air. That's a gain of 7. They're going to be 1.5 yards, actually a couple of yards shy. I only give him 5 on the catch. Darren Bates with that stop. Now it looks like Vanderbilt may keep the offense out there on 4th down.
They've had some success on 4th down in the ball game, but maybe a little bit outside of Corey Spears' range. season and career long 44 yards. So James Franklin going to roll the dice here.
Ball needs to get just inside the 28-yard line for the first down.
Boy, you got man-to-man coverage down at the bottom with your best receiver.
Timeout Vanderbilt.
Timeout Vanderbilt.
James Franklin will run through the sequence. We'll be back in a moment.
We got to make sure for 4 quarters we're consistent in moving the ball, keeping our defense off the field, and that's going to help us win more games. We got to be able to finish down the stretch. I'm going to take that upon myself. I got to be able to complete balls down the stretch in pressure situations, improve my completion percentage, and we're going to be successful.
You know what? I bet you when you get home tonight, you're going right to the hair, wherever you get your hair cut. You can get you one of those, aren't you?
Look good.
That look. I like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. Both these clubs are 2 clubs trying to fight the fourth quarter battles.
And as well, both teams fighting to keep themselves alive for a bowl game. Auburn's got to win out. Vanderbilt's in a little bit better situation.
Here we go, 4th down. Looks like Stacy's trying to throw it. Didn't work. They will lose 6 yards. Gabe Wright, Casanova, McKenzie. And Auburn's bench has erupted like we haven't seen in a long time.
You know, I had a coach tell me a long time ago, sitting around watching film, and if you have to run trick plays to win a football game, right here trying to sneak him out and up the sideline, if you're trying to run trick plays, you don't really feel like you're good enough to win. And I think Vanderbilt's good enough to win. And they've done some things today, maybe uncharacteristic of this Vandy team that has really hurt them.
Out of the I formation. Here's Mason. He'll get a couple out near the 40. And the last 3 drives, if I'm not mistaken, Zach Stacy's only actually run with the football 3 times.
Yeah, and I mean, you got a guy averaging 6.5 yards a carry, and he's not packing the football. He's got to be frustrated as well. You want to throw it? Throw it with Jordan Rogers.
See him shaking his head. Yeah, frustration. Second and 7. Flag down on the far side. Mason trying to get the edge, and he'll get it over the 45. That'll be shy of the first down by a yard or so. So we'll wait on this flag.
You know what Trey Mason is? He's a good football player. Solid football player that you can rely on. Each and every week, practices hard, works hard, comes into the game, and it pays off on Saturday.
Offside. Defense number 92. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So they'll take the 5 and get second down over again and make it second down, and we'll call it short 3, long 2. Today's 1st and 10 line brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Here's Mason again. This time Chase Gardner led the charge. No gain on the play. And now it's 3rd down and 2.
Well, you don't think Andre Howell watches film and has formation recognition. And all you got to do is turn the film on tomorrow and watch this, because they line up and he just takes a beeline from his corner position and is in on that stop and disrupting things. Excellent play there by Howell on the outside.
Auburn 1 out of 9 on 3rd downs. Wallace in the game at quarterback. Here comes McCaleb. Speed sweep. He's got to use that speed to get the corner, and he can't do it. There's the stop that James Franklin was hoping his club could get.
Defense has played well today. Had their backs against it on a couple of occasions, and they do a nice job. Walker May gets up the field. They do to keep McCaleb from turning the corner. How many times have you called Walker May's name in this ball game?
He's been all over the field.
6 tackles, 1 for a loss, quarterback pressure.
Stephen Clark to punt. Fair catch called for by Krause inside the 20, back at the 18, a 39-yard punt. 4:41 to go in this one. I would guess that we would get a heavy dose of Zach Stacy the rest of the way out if you're the Commodores. Time now for our Nissan Heisman moment. And you look at the Heismanology put together by the ESPN Heisman voters. At this point, these are the candidates. And Andre, as we look at those guys on there, you're a man certainly with a vote as a former winner. Your thoughts about that group, and is there somebody out there that you think should be on that group?
It's an impressive group, but Jadeveon Clowney would be on that list, and he would be at the very top of the list, the type of season that he's turned in. I think he's the best defensive player in the country, and I vote for the best player, and not just whether it's a quarterback or an offensive player. The best player in the country, my opinion right now, would be Jadeveon Clowney.
All right, let's focus on this one right now. It's 4:41 to go in the contest. Vandy's got the ball. Is this when we're going to see Zach Stacy?
Well, we hope so. I mean, a guy rushing for 6.5 yards a carry, that you can hitch your wagon to him and just ride him into the sunset, and he's frustrated wanting the ball.
Gets the carry. Here he goes. He's got the record. And a whole lot more at the 46-yard line. Chris Davis finally brings him down, a gain of 27. And there's your new Vanderbilt career rushing leader.
I think your T's did it going to break right here and do a nice job with the counter, a seal block, a kick out, and then the rest is Zach Stacy. Enough speed to get himself to the third level of the defense, and he is now Vanderbilt's all-time leading rusher. 22 carries, 146 yards, and a touchdown today for Zach Stacy.
Congratulations to Zach. He'll get it again to midfield. Gain of 5 on the play.
Well, you think he didn't look up and see that he's now the all-time leading rusher? That adds a little more adrenaline. You get it at the beginning of the game, it kind of dissolves as you get into it. There are certain things that can happen. Sometimes people call it momentum. Good football player.
Here's Zach. Zach has the first down at the 43-yard line. 6 more yards.
Let's take a look at his day. They've run the counter and kickouts, and Stacy has had some nice running room. They line him up in the Wildcat. He's able to get the corner. Big play after big play in the red zone, inside, and in the goal-to-goal situations. The touchdown run, and here's the record breaker right here. Zach Stacy, Vanderbilt's all-time leading rusher.
A senior out of Centerville, Alabama. Here's Zach again. He'll fall forward to the 40-yard line, and Auburn's got to start using some timeouts. They have 2 left. I think they just burned one of those.
Well, this reminds me of my high school coach, Doug Ferris. He says, Andre, Auburn, we're going to turn around and we're going to run 21 pitch. And we're going to run it again. And he'll see, he doesn't even bother sending the play in. He just run it again. We're going to run it until they stop it.
Zach Stacy, a true workhorse for the Commodores on offense. Well, Zach Stacy has exhibited the right stuff today, and he's our player of the game, brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low prices every day. His 7th career 100-yard game, and this one today will be one that he remembers for the rest of his life as he sets the new career rushing record for the Commodores.
Give it to him till his tongue drags the ground and he taps out. Just give it to him.
Second down and 7. 2:38 to play. Auburn with 1 timeout left. Here's Stacy. Spins right into some traffic. Falls inside the 40. Give him a yard on that play. Jonathan Evans in on the tackle, and Gene Chizik will burn that final timeout.
Big for Auburn here to get a stop with being out of timeouts. 2:33 left. You can just about seal the deal if Vanderbilt picks up a first down here.
Well, this week we'd like to recognize 2 SEC scholar athletes. Ashton Richardson, a senior linebacker for Auburn with a 3.9 GPA in animal science, pre-vet. And for Vanderbilt, Jordan Rogers, a senior quarterback with a 3.6 GPA in human and organizational development. Congrats to those guys on their work on and off the field. Heard a soundbite from Jordan Rogers a few moments ago. If you were with us, talking about how Vanderbilt's got to close the deal. We have to finish football games off. It was something that he's been thinking about since the end of last year, and that's what they're trying to do here. Meanwhile, Auburn, Andre, just continues with their fourth quarter struggles. They've yet to score a fourth quarter touchdown.
And it was one of their keys to the game was to be around in the fourth quarter, have the game close. They are, and then win it in the fourth quarter. Still there for the taking, but they've got to come up with a big stop here against this Vanderbilt offense, and Zach Stacy, who seems to have gotten a hot hand once they decided, Dave, to go back to him.
Well, if they stop him here, they're going to have at least about a minute 50, minute 45 probably when they get the football. Zach Stacy in the Wildcat formation. Zach will keep it. Trying to get to the wide side. Zach has to break a tackle. Can't do it. What a grab by Demetrius McNeil, hanging on. And now a loose football. They say there's a turnover.
It is.
Yes! Auburn has the football.
It's like Corey Lemonnier coming up with the ball, and with Stacy, didn't it look for a minute like he was going to turn the corner and get the first down, and then all of a sudden an excellent play from behind by Demetrius McNeil right here. Nice job of blocking up front. Joe Townsend is in the game, as well as Wesley Johnson, and ball comes out.
That is our
clearly out.
Good Hands Play of the Day, brought to you by Allstate. Auburn has the football. Corey Lemonnier. And what a turn of events.
Boy, buckle your seatbelt for the finish of this one.
And it looks as though Matt Moore might be taking another look.
On the field was a fumble recovered by Auburn. The previous play is under further review.
Boy, this is a potential game changer here. Extra few plays if Auburn can.
Well, what it does is it changes field position. The ball's out. I mean, it's coming out before he even starts down. And you get the football with about 2:33 left without having a fourth down play or time run off the clock. And then the fourth down punt to pin you. Even if it goes out the back of the end zone, you've picked up what? 11, 12 yards here.
I think that is certainly a fumble.
Yeah, ball's out, knees still up.
Although we missed one earlier today. You never know.
I feel pretty confident in this one, big guy. Well, look at that play by McNeil.
How about McNeil today? 13 tackles. He and McKenzie have combined for 24 tackles between those two.
It's kind of a good and a bad thing, because you get all that production from the second, and then McNeil making all those tackles, 13. He's a safety.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
So that means you're making a lot of stops on the third level of your defense if you're McNeil.
The junior out of College Park, Georgia, with an outstanding play for the Tigers. He will watch this offense. First down and 10. Over the middle, pass is caught. Mason. He's hit at the 35 to the 36. Remember, no timeouts for Auburn.
Clock will stop with a first down and to get the chain set.
The Tigers are going to have to score their first fourth quarter touchdown of the year if they want to win this one. Pass caught out of bounds by C.J. Uzomah. That's a gain of 5. That should be about a yard shy of the first down.
Nice job of getting himself out of bounds, even though he was just shy of the first down marker.
Here comes some pressure. Auburn picks it up. Pass is caught. Uzomah. He's inside Vanderbilt territory down to the 41. That's 18 yards.
When it looked like Eric Samuels, who had him man-to-man after the pressure, slipped. Uzomah becoming one of those sure-handed, dependable players with Lutzenkirchen out of the game today. Nice job. Nice blitz pickup by Mason to give Mosley the time to find Uzomah. And remember, Dave, it's going to take more than a field goal. You need a touchdown to win the football game.
Rob Loers, the injured Vanderbilt Commodore, the senior out of Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Guy that's just been battling injuries for a while.
Two-year starter. Scouts are well aware of Rob Loer and his size, and at 6'4", 290, very active player. They hope that not only can he get himself back into this game before it ends, but going forward, they're going to need him.
Boy, how about Mosley today? Not a lot of yards, but has been efficient. 14 of 17 for 98 yards.
Coach Chiswick said he had his best week of practice, so he was ready.
Clock is ticking. Mosley gets a clean snap. On the run, throws it down. Looking for Trevon Reed, who couldn't catch up with it. Clock will stop with 1:26 to play.
Yeah, pressure by Archibald Barnes. First year as a full-time starter. Kind of played his way into the starting lineup last year and was a high school quarterback before arriving at Vanderbilt.
Mosley hit and dropped at the 45. A loss of 3. Archibald Barnes.
I tell you what, Bob Shoop has done a nice job on this drive. He is not waiting and sitting back and saying, hey, drive the football down the field. He is coming after Clint Mosley.
3-man rush. Mosley dropped. It is now 4th down.
4th and 13. So now you just want to keep it in front of you, make a nice open field tackle, and you pick up your 3rd win of the season if you're Vanderbilt.
Here's your ball game, and perhaps a whole lot more if you're Auburn. Going up top. Incomplete. Sammy Coates broke free for a moment, but a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Wait a minute.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Number 4 of the offense,
timeouts left. The Vanderbilt Commodores will win this one.
Just take a knee and it is all over with.
And I think that look might say it all for Auburn fans.
And a tough year. Tough year for Auburn fans. And 2 years removed from a national championship, and you sit at 1-6.
Good win for this Vanderbilt team. But Zach Stacy once again.
Hey, what it does is it keeps them in a bowl chase.
Keeps that dream alive for a back-to-back bowl berth. But Zach Stacy, at the end of the day, is Vanderbilt's all-time leading rusher. And it's that much sweeter when you can walk out of Vanderbilt Stadium with a win. The Commodores will go to 3-4, 2-3 in the SEC. Auburn will go to 1-6. It is their worst start since 1952. Shug Jordan's second year on the Plains. They'll also go to 0-5 in conference play. We will step aside for a moment and return to Vanderbilt right after this as the Commodores win it by 4. The Vanderbilt student section excited about the win and the direction of their Vanderbilt football program. And they win it 17-13 over the Auburn Tigers. Well, next week, the SEC Network will head to Little Rock as the Arkansas Razorbacks host the Ole Miss Rebels at War Memorial Stadium beginning at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Time. So for Andre Ware, Kara Capuano, and the rest of our great SEC Network crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long from Nashville. And folks, we hope to see you down the road.